Hey guys, it's Jack Ravel here from Life by Design, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how you can spot some red flags when it comes to coaching. Let's get into this. So first of all, I just want to lay something down here, right? This is my opinion, and you can have a different opinion if you like, but ultimately I'm going to tell you the things that I think you should look for and avoid if you start a relationship with someone in the coaching space, or you see something on social, whatever, and you want to get into it, but you start working with someone and these things happen. I would run a country mile. All right. So the first thing is that you don't trust any coach that tries to fix you. I've seen this so many times before where people are like, they tell them what's going on, the challenges they're having, and the issues that's going on in their lives. And the person on the other end goes, yep, I can fix that. I can help that. I can do that. And that's not coaching, I'm afraid. That is just, it's not coaching. That might be teaching, it might be mentoring, it might be something else, but it's not coaching. Coaches don't fix you. They help you understand the challenges you're going through and help you come to a conclusion on your own, right? They ask good questions. They hold that space for you, but they don't tell you what to do and inform you to go here and do that and try this. It's a creative process between you and the coach, but ultimately you are driving the ship. All right. So if anyone says I can fix you, I would definitely raise a red flag. All right. Secondly, someone that doesn't walk their own talk. Now this comes into two things. First of all, on the sort of personal self-development side of things, if they're not investing in themselves and they're reading and they're doing courses and they're also working on themselves on a consistent basis, then I would question how legit as a coach they actually are, right? And the other thing is obviously the money side of things. If they're not actually paying someone else to be their coach, then by definition that means they're not valuing what they do at all, because they're not willing to invest in someone else to help them with their personal development. How can they expect you to invest in them because they're not doing it themselves? It doesn't make any sense. So it really frustrates me how people think that you can just become a coach and then you never have to learn again, right? And it doesn't look good at all to anyone else on the outside. It's a little bit like going to the dentist with someone who has no teeth. Like, it just doesn't give off the best image. So yeah, someone that doesn't walk their own talk, that I would stay well clear of. Number 3, doesn't necessarily show you proof of past client successes. Okay, now let me just say before I go on here that everyone has to start somewhere. I totally agree with that. But where I started was I started giving people sessions for free, right? I was in training. I trained for 2 years to become a coach, qualified, and a lot of that was to do with training. But when I did have a coaching session with someone, I asked for a testimonial. I asked for something that said, hey, we went from this place to this place and this is what, gained from the situation. That is a client success story, right? That is someone who's gone from a place where they were struggling or they were challenged or whatever it is to a place where they're feeling good and they're moving forward, right? Doesn't mean that person had to pay for it, but it meant that I could then use that as part of my arsenal to be able to market myself, to be able to show people I can actually do what I said that I can do. And obviously over time that builds up and you start getting paid clients and then they can start doing that as well. But if anyone talks more about their qualifications and tells you how long they've trained for and what, this they've got and what that they've got and what course they've done, and they haven't actually told you anything about the clients they've helped, I'd let a little red flag would go off in my head for that one, and I would always ask to see recommendations on LinkedIn, client testimonials on the website, even ask them, who have you worked with that's in a similar position to me before starting with someone, because you've always got to know that they've got the best interest, your best interests at heart, and it's not just about showing off the fact that they've spent however many years studying to become a coach that actually can't coach someone. All right. Number 4, okay, is discount their prices. Now, again, this is another one that I think I'm going to get a few raised eyebrows on, but ultimately, I think that if you discount your prices, it just smells desperate. All right. Obviously, people have to start somewhere, and I agree. I started off at charging £20 an hour for my coaching, and that was what I was sort of uncomfortable, but also comfortable with at the time. But as I grew and I got better and I realized my clients were getting results, I obviously upped my fees. And I think that if I ever went backwards, it's not only it's a lack of confidence on my side, but it also shows people that I know we're desperate. I need the clients. I need people to kind of work with me. So I would never discount your services ever. And if someone ever does say that and they're like, you know what, if you come and work with me, I'll give it to you 50% off, I'd run a mile. Coaching is meant to be uncomfortable. All right, we're meant to take you from this comfort zone into your stretch zone, and I think that a blanket rule is if someone charges you something, or charges you an amount that you feel a little bit uncomfortable about, that's when you know that that's the right person for you. Because if it's a bit cheap, if it's like it's like 100 quid or 50 quid, like you won't commit to it, right? It's like those coupons you get from the supermarket or something that you pick up for free at an event, like. You don't care about it. It's just something you got, right? And again, it depends on people's budgets. But again, if you pay for something that's just like, didn't really think about it, you won't turn up to the sessions, you won't do the work, you won't do the inner work that's needed to become the person you need to become, and therefore you won't actually get results. Whereas if you pay for something that's a little bit outside of your comfort zone and you really have to take some time to think about it, and I again agree that you should take a good considerable amount of time to think about whether this is right for you or not, and talk to the person at least a couple of times, have a session with them beforehand, see if it's a right fit, then invest the money. I guarantee you will get results quicker than you ever thought were possible, because it's taken you outside of the place where you were before. And so, yeah, I think if you see discounted prices, march the other way, all right? And the last thing is I want to say is people that talk more than they listen. Right, if you get a coach that just comes on and just waffles on about all sorts, whether it be like their stories or where they were in that position or whatever, then that would make me think twice about working with them for sure. Right, coaches are meant to ask questions. Okay, we ask questions. We're curious. We're people that want to understand where you are. And yes, of course, there's going to be some relatable, incidents and stories and metaphors and stories and whatever else comes with it. But it doesn't mean you take up the entire airspace. And I think there's a lot of power as a coach in being able to just pause and hold that space for someone to think about what they're talking about and where they want to go and what they want to do next, and not necessarily just jump in with something because you're trying to fill the silence. I think that there's a lot of power in pausing for not just a dramatic effect, which can be quite fun as well, but not in a coaching environment. But I think being able to just understand that client needs the time and the space to be able to actually think about what they're doing. We live in a very noisy world, and it's not often that you actually just get to sit and think and work with someone who has your best interests at heart, but is also asking you the questions that your friends and family and mates down the pub won't ask. It's the peeling back of the onion layers. It's the unpacking the Russian doll, whatever metaphor you want to use. People ask surface level questions these days, and coaches, we ask the next level and the next level and the next level. We want to get to the core of why you are not doing or are doing a certain thing to help you in your self-development moving forward, your growth moving forward. So those are the 5 things that I would recommend as a raising of a red flag if you do ever have a situation where you're working with a coach or in a coaching environment and those things come up. Do not trust them as far as you can throw them, because you will have bad results, you'll waste your money, and the industry will get a forever tarnished name. So I hope you enjoyed this. My name's been Jack Ravel. If you really enjoyed this video, I would love it if you subscribed to my channel. I'm going to try and create as many videos like this as possible and unearth the coaching space for what it really is. Hope to see you next time. Take care.